Hi, welcome to Alaskan in Thailand. Today I thought I'd talk about what you need to do or what happens if you need emergency services here in Asia. I kind of have a situation we had last night I'll tell you about, may help you realize what things could go either way for you. Me and my friend on Saturday, once a week I bring my friend out to eat. We usually go to Bon Kanpur market, eat food court out there and eat, but this time it was a big rain cloud, so we thought we'd stay closer. We go to this Hia Hin Kitchen. It's right near where I live, and it's a Thai restaurant right across the street. Really nice, great food. I love it. Great food, great service, cheap prices, really good Thai food. So we were in there eating about 6:30 after her work. She works late and then finally takes off. She even takes off early on Saturday at 6:30. Usually she'll work till 8. So at 6:30 we went in and ate Thai food. It was good as usual. I forget, she ordered these meatballs, deep fried meatballs. I've never had them before, but they were really good. Dip in the sauce. I had some sea bass. She usually orders 3 or 4 different things. What else? Some egg and shrimp on rice kind of thing. She orders like 3 or 4 different things. It was really good. I eat every bit of it. Spicy or not, I just go for it. It's always good food. So we ate our dinner and sat and chatted for a little while, and we got up and we were leaving. Walked out. It's an open air restaurant like many of them are. Excuse me, I'm a little hot. I just ran. Yeah, so it's an open air restaurant. We come out the entrance there, and she walks and takes a left. She's going down. I got to go down. I'm going to use the crosswalk, so I take a left. I'm going to go down towards the market village. And I look, and there's a guy. I look at what she's looking at, and there's a guy sitting on the road, and his older couple, foreigner couple, are sitting there, and the guy's on the ground and holding his wife, apparently his wife, and they must have been 670 maybe. They look like they're in their late 60s or 70s, and she was barely conscious, and she stopped, and I says, "You okay?" And she don't know what happened. I says, "Is she drinking or anything?" No drinking. And I thought, and the few of the guys were the maitre d's that stand in front of the restaurant were coming over, and they were talking, and me and Noy sat there and talking, and she said, "No, I don't know what happened." I said, "Is she dehydrated? Because I've seen that before where people just fall over from dehydration." He goes, "No, I go, "Did you just arrive? Are you jet lag or anything?" "No, we've been here 2 years," he said. And I was like, wow. And at this time, she was just kind of going in and out, kind of consciousness. And then finally, she just fell out of, slumped over consciousness. And I said, "Well, it's time to get an ambulance." And I look around, and there's these, there's 3 or 4 Thais standing there by now. And I was like, "Yeah, get an ambulance." And of course, nobody understands English except the couple that were there. And then the one maitre d' goes up and he grabs her pulse arm and starts taking her pulse. And he said something to Noy that something was weak. And Noy didn't waste any time. She turned around and started running. I was like, "What are you doing?" And I just took off running after her, followed her, and we were running. Apparently, we were going to run down to the hospital and get some help. And I'm like, we can call. But they ignored me and we ran. So here we are running down the road, full blast to get to the hospital, which was just a block down, Bangkok Hospital, luckily for her. So we run down to the hospital and tell the people standing out front of the hospital, the guard, that we need some help, and they point to go inside the hospital. They weren't going to run it. So she goes in the hospital. I can't speak, so there's no reason for me to go in. I just stand right by the door and watch, and she's telling them what's going on and where it's happening. And we go out, and I knew it was just before a big rain cloud was coming too, and I knew she had to go down to Pranchanberry down the road, 30 minutes yet, get off work. So I told her, "Well, you can go home now. You better go home." She goes, "No, we got to show them where it's at." So we took off, and a bunch of EMTs following us, rolling a gurney on wheels, a bed on wheels in their bag, and they come rolling behind us, and we ran up to back to the place, and yeah, she was still going in and out, and the EMTs came up right away, and then the emergency, the ambulance came up. It's a one-way. They actually came up the one-way against the traffic. It was just a block. So they came up and they were taking care of it. And I said, well, we can go now, huh? And she's like, yeah, I guess so. We turned and started heading home finally. And she looks at me and goes, today I'm a hero. I said, yeah, you're a hero today. I don't know what happened with the lady, and it probably looks serious. But the point of my story in telling you this is that she was very lucky that the hospital was just a block away and the ambulance service was right there. And there was somebody there that could speak English that could help too, you know. So they got pretty lucky all in all. And hopefully she's okay. I don't know what it was. Something was going on. She was passing out. It looked like dehydration to me. You know, she was coming in. I've seen that before where a guy got passed out and got up okay again and then passed out again. It's from dehydration. I don't know if that was it. It was in the evening, so it wasn't heat stroke or anything. So yeah, she was having some problems. Perhaps a stroke or something could have been. I don't know. Just never seen it like that, and it can't speculate really. But anyway, she was close to the emergency care to where they got her over there, you know, and in 5 minutes she was at the end of the hospital. And I'm just pointing this out for those of you guys that are thinking about moving out into some remote island just because it's really cool and beautiful and the girls are pretty. You might want to think again, because in the end, we're all going to need that emergency services. None of us get out of this alive, you know, just to show you that it can happen and it will happen. It's just not a matter of if it'll happen, it's when will it happen. And you better be in a good place for it to happen, you know. Especially when you're getting into your older age, you start really ought to think about that a little more than you did before, you know. It was okay to go jaunting around into the exotic places when you're young and, you know, bulletproof. But now as you get older, you really ought to stay kind of close to that health care. And if you're in an area where there ain't no health care, you know, you're going to be panicking at some point in your life to where you're going to need it and it ain't going to be there. And that must be not a good feeling. So I don't know. Just I thought I'd tell you and warn you about it and share that story with you. So far, I've been in these hospitals twice, and they've all done pretty good by me. I haven't had any problems with them. They've been professional. These Thai hospitals are top-notch. Even the government hospital was top-notch. I don't even need to go anywhere else. And after that, all of a sudden, so then we were walking home, and I walked down to the cross light and gave her a goodbye and told her, see you next week, pretty much. And crossed the crosswalk, through the crosswalk, and was walking up towards my up to my condo. Traffic coming down the ways. I looked ahead of me and saw something coming down the sidewalk doing this, and I thought, oh my God, are you kidding me? And sure enough, there was about a 4-foot snake coming down the sidewalk right at me. You guys probably think I'm full of crap. But anyway, I wasn't. So I stopped there, and me and the serpent stared each other down. And I ain't afraid of no animals, you know, but normally I'd have my boots on. I could just go up and stomp on it, or if it attacked me, you know, if I could stomp on it or something. But no, I was in flip-flops and a pair of shorts, so I was at the mercy of a damn serpent. Luckily for him, the serpent stopped and thought about it. Of course, they probably weren't attacking. It was probably just a rat snake or something, not toxic or anything. But it ended up just scurried over, and there was one bush protruding out of the sidewalk, and it wrapped up around the bottom of that bush and stayed there. And I thought, well, okay. And it was just going to rain, and I had to get out of there. So, yeah, it was kind of an exciting night. With that snake coming down the sidewalk, I either had a choice of jumping into oncoming traffic or face off with a venomous snake. So it was kind of a catch-20. I just stopped and thought, well, all right, I better take my chances with the snake. But anyway, yeah, getting snake bit wouldn't have been good. But if I would, the hospital was just right across the street. You see that? Yeah, I was safe. I just didn't know it. That hospital was right over there. I could have yelled and they would have came over. So see that? That's one thing you want to have. If you're in the jungle and you get bit by a snake, that'd be a whole different story. But anyway, it's quite an interesting evening, and yeah, just keep that in mind. It's nice here to have emergency vehicles. A lot of places don't have emergency vehicles. Keep that in mind. In Dumaguete, if you get hurt, you're going to stuff you in a trike where you can't even lay down. It's just a bench seat. You're going to be slumped over in a trike trying to climb a hill or trying to get out. You know, it's not a good thing. So yeah, have some emergency services, or at least live close to the hospital if you don't. That's all I can say. Well, I see there's a few mermaids out in the rocks this morning. There's a lot of Thais out this morning. It's Sunday morning, so a lot of them day off. They get out here early. They're out here drinking beer and fishing and everything, walking, doing their selfies, walking their dogs in their pajamas. I'll give you a look around before I shut her down. Mermaids. She's changing them. They're not. I love this weather here in Hua Hin. It's always cloudy, but we don't get a lot of the rain like the other countries do, or flooding and stuff. Patia. Here we just get the clouds and a little rain squall once in a while. No real flooding. It's kind of nice. Still drinking over there. I'll be sure to like, share, and subscribe. I upload every day. See you in the next one.